morning, everybody. This morning I am on a bus going to see the Vatican Gardens, so I thought I'd take you with me. Here we go. So this might be a little bumpy, but this is a tour that I booked. Anybody can do this through the Vatican Museum website. It costs 20 euros to do. Go through the Vatican Museum Gardens. So the Vatican City-State is one of the smallest countries in all of Europe. I'm simultaneously filming and also listening to the commentary, so I'll let you know if I hear anything interesting. So you have two options here. You can either take this bus tour or you can take a walking tour with a guide. And I opted for the bus tour just because it's a little more efficient. I just booked this a day ahead. In normal season, I think you need to book it way ahead. So now we're behind St. Peter's. To the back, and it's how beautiful view from. Gorgeous. Look at the grotto. Oh, that's cool. All the years that I've been coming to Rome, I've never done this. So now we're going to be around the Pinacoteca near the Vatican Museum. And here's the garden here. Oh, that's very cool prospect. So over here is the Pinacoteca. So this is the Vatican Museum, which many of you maybe have been in. This building here is the one that houses some Raphaels and Da Vinci canvases. So there's St. Peter's in the distance there as we continue around the Vatican Gardens. Beautiful prospect there. It's perfect here in Rome. It's about 90 degrees today. It's sunny. So there's the museum, which is at this time of day typically in regular season completely slammed with people, and there is nobody there today. Not a soul. It's open, but there's not a soul. Wow, that's incredible. So I don't know if you guys have seen the movie or the TV show, The Young Pope, but you really should if you are inspired by this. The Young Pope is Paolo Sorrentino series that was on HBO. It's really spectacular and shows a lot of scenes of, I'm sure it's faked, but it looks like this. Oh, look at that. It's so cool. This was a really popular thing to do during the late Renaissance, was to create these fake sort of grottos. So the Villone, for example, in Umbria does this, but you'll see these in palaces. So they're saying that John Paul II liked the gardens. He liked to stroll around the gardens. And Pope Benedict also was very much enjoying of the gardens. He used to come into the gardens a lot, they're saying. So this is yet another alternative. I'm always looking for alternative ways for you to be able to see the Vatican, because the Vatican Museum in St. Peter's is kind of a gauntlet, and it's good to kind of consider what are some other ways that you can experience it. That's really cute. If you look, you can see like a little mermaid. There's 100 fountains in the Vatican. So this was, they say, done by Paul V, Pope Paul V. And you can see up at the top, there's a symbol, an eagle, and I'm assuming that's the symbol of his family. Yeah, and there's two heads of two nymphs. So there's the one in the water, but then there's also one back here. Yeah, Paul V was a Borghese, so dragons and eagles, those are the themes of this grotto. You can see a dragon over here. So remember, it's like I said yesterday, it's all about product positioning, I guess you could say, or branding. It's always, the popes are always telling you who they are. It's really beautiful today. Just the air is perfect. Cute little fountain. This was the gardener's house over here, the gardener's lodge. Oh, and this is part of defensive tunnels. This is a statue of St. Peter in the middle of the garden. It's just a world away from this Rome. Look at that view of Rome. Oh my gosh, beautiful. So 300 different species of plants. Look at that pretty area down there. Another fountain down there. There's international plants. There's plants from Japan. Also kind of, I'm assuming they were gifts from people. So the design style, they're saying, there's samples of different design styles, French, English, and Italian gardening styles. So again, we're touring the Vatican Gardens today. Oh, and look at this view. That's lovely. That's very pretty over there. You can see it. So I mentioned the other day that in Rome, this is the greenest major city in Europe and possibly the world. There's more park space here than you'll find just about anywhere. And that's something that a lot of people don't realize about Rome, is how green it is. So this tower is the Vatican Observatory, or was. But now they've moved the observatory outside of Rome. This is very cool. Yeah, this is Vatican Radio. That makes sense. I've seen this tower from the museum, so Vatican Radio and see it in here. And it's where they... okay. So this was the holiday home of the Pope in the past. It was originally supposed to be a vacation. We've got a rose garden over here. And you get that beautiful prospect with all the different topiaries and fountains. Super well-tended gardens for Rome, for Italy. Very manicured. And what's nice to see about this, in my opinion, is that you can kind of take the beauty of this and imagine that during the Renaissance, a lot of other gardens, which are maybe not as well tended today, must have been this perfect, you know. Oh, that's beautiful. Look at that. Turning somewhere else here. Another grotto with an altar. And we have a bigger park out in front of us, which I'm hoping we'll get to go into. So these kind of grottos are very popular, and again, as I mentioned earlier, this was something really popular in the Renaissance, to create grottos, natural areas for having mass and so on. So if you want to come on a tour like this, and actually all of the events at the Vatican now, you can book them on the Vatican website. I think it's mu.vatican.va. And it's very easy. It's easier than ever. You can actually just look at the date that you're going to arrive, and then they'll show you all the different opportunities that you have. So today I could do this. I could have gone to Vatican Museum. I could have gone to a walking tour through the gardens. They have an aperitivo in the evening where you can go and see the Vatican Museum with a guide, and you get a cocktail included, which with the crowds, that might be nice. And then, if you're lucky, you can book the Scavi, which is the excavations underneath St. Peter's. I tried to do that this week, and it was full, but I might try hitting the office and just seeing if they have any other openings for the rest of the week. So they're making it very, very simple to book things these days. It is not inexpensive, though. There's lots of extra fees involved. So the ticket may be 16 euros or something, but it ends up being 20 in the end. So they're saying that this is a grotto where the popes come and they do masses and they dedicate to Mary. Looks like we're ready to move. If you guys want to hang on with me. This is Our Lady of Fatima. It's a memorial of the assassination attempt of John Paul II. It's really nice to come and see the Vatican from a different point of view because honestly, in my 20 years of tour guiding, the idea of going into the Vatican Museum now just makes me sort of feel nauseous because it's been so crowded and so miserable for so many years. So it's nice to come here and have a really pleasant, quiet experience. There's a pretty fountain. And if this looks like a castle to you, you're right, because remember that the Vatican was essentially a defensive area originally for the original popes who established it here. This has been an independent city-state since the Lateran Treaty with Mussolini in 1929. And the reason that happened was that prior to that, in the 19th century, Italy was a patchwork quilt of lots of different city-states. And the Pope, of course, owned the Papal States, which stretched from here all the way up to Tuscany. So in the mid-1800s, we had in Italy what they call the Risorgimento, which was the reunification of Italy, where the Italians, all these independent city-states, decided to create their own country. And then when they got to Rome, of course, and they said to the Pope, okay, we're taking all of your land away from you. The Pope did not accept that, of course, and slammed the doors of the Vatican, refused to recognize the state of Italy, and excommunicated everybody involved in the affair, and did not have any contact with the Italian state until the time of Mussolini. So one of the many weird little things, positive things Mussolini did was to negotiate peace between the Vatican and the Italian state. And so in 1929 they laid out the borders of the Vatican City and said, okay, well, this is your territory. This is where this is what you have sovereignty over, and it still is that way. So this is technically a different country than Italy, according to that treaty of 1929. So these are the very first defensive walls of the Vatican. So this is called St. John's Tower, Torre San Giovanni. So yeah, the very first walls that established this in the Middle Ages as a defensive zone. Okay, so this was the summer cottage of Pope John the 23rd, who was Pope in the 1960s and was responsible for the Vatican II treaties. So we have a fun little cottage that he lived in for the summer. I think that's a pretty fun little apartment if you have a choice, huh? So that's a section of defensive wall over there with the plants on it. I'm curious, there's a bell there too. Those were planted in 2000, so transferred, but those are obviously very, very old. And this is the Jubilee Bell from the year 2000 with that very special Jubilee. That was my first year tour guiding. I remember that Jubilee year very well. It was a huge event. So this bell was cast specially for that event. And that was the bell that rang when they opened up the Jubilee year that year. So there's a little altar to St. Teresa over there. The Coriello Piazza, and another beautiful view of St. Peter's in the city of Rome. Oh wow, yeah, this is cool. Look at this. Symbols that they have down there. There's a maze. Called Coriello Piazza because he was the person who started the first Vatican radio station. And here we go again. Thanks for keeping me company today as I go on this fun little drive. So definitely something you probably have never seen if you've been here to Rome. This is actually a really nice tour for people to do who maybe are not able to walk very much because it's relaxing. So Vatican is the Vatican radio right there, that tower. Very different perspective on St. Peter's and the Vatican today. Really interesting view of the city of Rome here. Swing around here. This is the Vatican Museum again that you see over there, which was the original papal palace. interior. This is fun, all these kinds of succulents and different desert plants, agaves. This is very pretty. I love all these succulents here. Not something I expected to see. So this is the railway station here. So this is the station that they use for getting staff and the Pope to Castle Gandolfo, which is out in the Castelli Romani, which I will probably be visiting on Thursday. So that's the train station now. Well, I hope you've enjoyed our little spin through the Vatican Gardens this morning here in Rome. It's another beautiful day. Today I will be focusing on sort of smaller sites of Rome. I might hit a museum, and hopefully I'll be joined today by my friend Mountain Bucharest, who is the Catholic traveler. So we'll be discussing Catholicism and maybe check out some churches for you today. So that's all here from the Vatican Gardens, and thanks for joining me for another day of adventure. Andiamo!